So very good morning to all of you. Today we will start our new unit, unit number 3. Already we required lots of time for the completion of unit number 1 and 2. Unit number 1. Additionally, we have covered the design of connections because it is not given in the syllabus, but it is beyond the syllabus, but that should be included because the connections plays very important role. Okay, so that's why the unit number 1 will be required almost 19 lecture to complete unit number 1, and unit number 2 we have completed in 11 lecture. And unit number 3, now from here we require less lectures to complete the units because all the basic parts are completed in unit number 1 and 2. Okay, so mostly in unit number 3, if you come to unit number 3, the unit number 3 syllabus, you can see this post objective outcome number 3, the design of eccentrically loaded column for section strength only, and column basis for axial load and uniaxial bending. So this one is the course outcome for the unit number 3. So if you come to the content of unit number 3, it is nothing but you can see here unit number 3, the eccentrically loaded column and column basis. Eccentrically loaded column and column basis. Okay, already this unit number one, that the basic parts of design of steel structure, types of steel structure, and various codes and various philosophies of design, and then forces factor for material and load. You have seen that tension member design. You have seen unit number one, and you completed successfully. Also, additionally, we have covered the connection design in unit number one. Okay. Now, unit number two, the buckling classification we have seen as per IS code, buckling curve, that is class 1 plastic, class 2 compact, class 3 semi-compact, and class 4 cylinder. Classification of cross section from table number 2, page number 18 and 19 Rodin. Effective date we have find out from table number 11 of your IS 800 2007, and design of compressive stress, design of compression member of truss, single angle, double angle. We have done the example on that, and also design of axially loaded column with built-up column section using lesson system and backplane system. Steps that we have seen, and I have given the assignment for the design of backplane system, and all design full calculation I have shared with you on the Google Classroom. You can take from their notes whatever I have given as per lecture wise, and you can complete your assignments whatever I am going to you, whatever sheet in lab work I have given to you, you should draw. Now today we will start the design of eccentrically loaded column. We design centrically loaded column providing uniaxial or axial bending for section strength. Only we have to here design for section strength. Only we have to design for section strength. You don't need to go for uh, serviceability condition in that case. Only you have to design for the section strength. You have to design for. So here, what is eccentrically loaded column means? What we understand what the eccentrically loaded column means. So previously we have designed for the column in the vertical member which is supporting the beams, girders. Okay, so this is column. it is resting on the pedestal or resting on the footing or foundation. So this column is having this axis, line of axis. The load coming over the line of axis, that's your factored load. So this is called as axially loaded column. Axially, axially loaded column. Loaded column. When your load is acting at the CG of the, okay. If your load is coming other than this, in case of, if you see in case of the gutter, it is resting on the bracket. If this is your bracket, and through the bracket, the load is on the bracket, and it is transferred to the column. Okay. Okay. So it is connected with the column, the help of angle or channel or whatever it may be. Okay, the load, if it is coming here, if it's coming here, having some eccentricity, and this eccentricity that create moment on the column. So that's why this column, if you, I will mark in the red, this is not column. This actually loaded column. This is centrically, centrically loaded column. Loaded. So in real life also many such cases you will observe, in case of steel structure most of time you see that your load is transferred through the bracket, so there is eccentricity on the column. So how to design this eccentricity column, we will see the step by step process today, and that because if the eccentricity is eccentrically loaded column, then we have to design for axial load, axial load, and moment also, because this action, the eccentricity is causing a moment, and moment if you find out P into E, you know that this P is the load and E is the eccentricity, that is distance. So load into distance is nothing but moment, and we are measured generally in kilometer meter, and load we are measuring kilometer. Okay, so we are designing if the column is with axial load, and due to centricity there is moment also. Then if your column is designing for one side eccentricity, then it is called as uh, 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 uniaxial bending. This is called as uniaxial bending. So why it is called as uniaxial bending? Uniaxial bending, axial bending. If you see in the plan that column, this is the column, and this is your maybe the major axis, and this is your minor axis. Okay, if your load is somewhere here, this is your P, so this is the eccentricity, and moment is equal to P. So here at major axis, if I will say z axis, then z is equal to P into Ez. Okay, but if your load, this is your column, this is your column, this is your column, and this is the major axis or minor axis, whatever you can say. This is your major axis, this is your minor axis. So if I will, if your load that is P is acting somewhere here, then its eccentricity at the uh, Ez, and this eccentricity Ey. If you measure this, then there is uh, biaxial bending. So this is nothing but in the biaxial. So this is nothing but called as biaxial bending, and you have to consider in y as well as in z both direction to find out the moment. Okay, so that's why there is there is biaxial bending. So this is what is your axially loaded column, and if there is a eccentricity, there is bending on the column. It may be in one direction, it may be in two direction. If it is in one direction, it is called as uniaxial bending. If it is in two direction, eccentricity on the both axes is there, then there the moment will come about the both axes, and that is nothing but it is termed as biaxial bending. Okay. Now will come the procedure. The design of eccentrically loaded column, uniaxial and biaxial bending, check for section extent only. This is what is given your syllabus also. This is your syllabus. In your syllabus also is given uniaxial and biaxial bending, but only for the section extent. This eccentrically loaded column when it is complete, then all column design it is complete when you go for the design of column basis is number 3. So that it may be slab base, it may be gusset base, it may be moment resistant base, and for axial load and uniaxial bending you have to do. Okay. So this is our syllabus for unit number 3. Okay. So we will start it with the eccentrically loaded column. The design of structural members subjected to single bond loading such as axial tension or compression or bending moment has been discussed earlier units. However, in reality, structural members subjected to combination of axial load, structural members they are subjected to combination of axial loads, combinations of axial load. So what is the combinations of axial load? The combinations of axial load means that the load is with axial load with the moment. Axial load with the moment. Okay. The design of okay. The, however, in reality, structural members are subject to the combination of axial force and bending moment are more common than one may realize it is actually loaded. Example of compression members subjected to axial load and bending in structure are innumerable. Structural member which combines the beam function of transmitting transverse force or moment and compression force function of transmitting axial compressive force are known as beam column. So if there is moment with the axial force in the column, so that column is called as beam column, and there is bending in the axial force support. So most beams and columns are subjected to same degree of both bending and axial load. That's why they are called as beam column. The bending moment on a column may be due to any of the following effects. Uh, it may be due to eccentricity of the axial force. जैसे कि हम लोग ने अभी अभी मैंने एग्जांपल आपको दिखाया. Okay. Okay. So it may be the first case eccentricity of axial force. Eccentricity means your load is not acting on the CG of your column. This is the CG of your column, and somewhere where your load is acting, then there is eccentricity with load. In both direction, it may be both direction, it may be. Okay. So that's why it's called as eccentrically loaded column. Building frame action. Build frame action. Frame action may be color. It may not come actually because your beam is transverse member. This is the column, and your beam is resting on your transverse member. It is not possible that your load is actually loaded in the column. It may be, it may be somewhere another place. Or portal or gable frame action. Portal frame, you know that portal frames are like this. It may be arch type, it may be a single frame. Okay. all these actions, there should not be an action load on the column. Load from bracket, as you see here, this is load from the bracket, there is always necessity. And then transverse loading. Transverse loading means the loading from the horizontal or inclined to the surface. It is called as transverse loading. Okay, fixed base condition. If the fixed base condition also there is eccentricity on the column, and that's why the moment of the column will appear, and you have to design the column for the P, that is axial load, and N for the moment. So that's why these are the conditions where the action column may appear or column may get axial load with the moment. Now, if this type of column is there where axial load, there is axial load and moments are there, axial load and moment are there on the column, then these columns are how to design. We will discuss in this following section, and then after discussing these steps, we can go for design one example, so you can easily understand how to design actually loaded column. So step for design of eccentrically loaded column, or you can say step for design of uh, column with axial load and moment. The design procedure for eccentrically loaded column is trial and error method. Every design, every design is nothing but trial and error method. You are considering some section. If you go for designing it, checking for system, serviceability conditions, then it may, if it is okay or it will behave good in strength and serviceability, then you can say that section your trial one you are selected is okay. If it fails in serviceability or in step, any one of the case, or fail in both, then that section you should avoid, and you are reselecting the section and the redesigning is done. So always the design work or designing is nothing but the trial and error basis. Okay. So generally in this case the factor load and moments are determined. So if load is given in your column, then load is given and eccentricity is given. We can find out the factor of Pu, and mu is equal to Pu into E. We get the factor load or factor moment. So you have to determine in first case, we have to first determine the axial load, that is Pu factor load, and moment with that load you find out. If it is in one direction, you find out. In one direction, it is two directions, then you have to find out both the directions. So in such a column which is having bending and axial force, beam column, if you are going for design, you are going for design beam column. So to begin with the trial section, the applied axial force is considered twice the start section for the beam column. यानी because you are assuming the FCD आपको assume करना पड़ेगा ट्रायल सेक्शन मालूम करने के लिए, जैसा कि हम कॉम्प्रेशन मेंबर में डिजाइन करने के लिए assume करते हैं. Okay, this is okay. You are assuming the FCD. Okay, स्टेप नंबर 1 में अगर हम इसको डालते हैं तो that is also okay. स्टेप नंबर 2 में भी डालते हैं तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. यहाँ पर हम लोग क्या करते थे, कॉम्प्रेशन मेंबर डिजाइन करेंगे, एरिया रिक्वायर्ड इज इक्वल टू एरिया रिक्वायर्ड हम लोग मालूम करते थे, एरिया रिक्वायर्ड इज नथिंग बट PU upon FCD assumed. But in case of beam column, what you have to do? You have to take 2 times of your PU. This N is here nothing but your axial load, axial force. Okay. So twice of this axial load you have to take for start the section, and then you have to find out the area required, and based on that area required you have to select the section such that such that your area provided should be greater than area required. Area provided should be greater than area required. So you have to select the section in step number 2 such that the area provided should be greater than area required. Now it is better to, after selecting the section, it is better to find out the buckling classification and section classification. So section classification is nothing but width to thickness ratio, width to width to thickness ratio of various elements. This is the nothing but section classification, and it is done from the table number 2 of IS 800 800 2007. तो IS 800 2007 में पेज नंबर 18 और 19 पर ये आपको दिया हुआ है. Okay, section classification. So you have to first you go for section classification. Okay, so to go for section classification, whatever section you are told is section you have chosen, go for section classification, and section classification is nothing but on page number uh, uh, 18 of page number 18 of your highest code. So if you come to page number 18, you can see this page number 16, 17, this is it. So here building with this ratio for the section as per the class 1, class 2, class 2, compact and semi-compact, you have to find out the section class. Okay, now design strengthening compression due to yielding. Now you have to find out the PD. The PD is here, it is denoted by ND. ND is only for the gross section yielding. It is due to cross section yielding. Cross section. Okay. And you know AG into Fy upon gamma m0, nothing but your PD in case of this, and it is denoted by ending because your. So this you have to find out due to yielding. Where gamma m0 you can find it from table number 5 of IS code. Table number 5 of IS code, it is given. This is your IS code. Then go to the table number 5 of IS code on page number 30, I think so. Table number 5 of IS code, that is gamma m, and gamma m0, gamma mo is nothing but 1.1 for yielding buckling. Okay, for ultimate is gamma m l. Okay, so here this is gamma m0 or gamma mo is 1.1. Gamma mo is 1.1, and gamma ml is for limiting value. Okay, this is due to yielding. Okay, so Fy is the yield stress of material, Ag is the gross area of cross section, whatever you have selected, that may be equal to Ag if class 1 plastic or class 2 semi-contact type. So in that case your Ag is equal to AE. Okay, so you have to take AG here, and then you have to find out ND is equal to A equal to AG equal to FY NG or gamma MO. Gamma MO is equal to 1.1 due to ND. Okay. Now you have to find out the effective length of the member using table number 5 of IS code at page number 58. इफेक्टिव लेंथ आपको उसके बाद मालूम. इससे पहले इफेक्टिव लेंथ हम लोग जो कॉलम का मालूम करते थे, कंप्रेशन नंबर एक्चुअली लोडेड कॉलम का, दैट इज फ्रॉम टेबल नंबर 11. टेबल नंबर 11 वी आर यूजिंग फॉर एक्चुअली लोडेड कॉलम. But here, you have to use table number 15 for for eccentrically loaded column. Eccentrically loaded loaded column. Okay, so if you go and check page number 58 of IS4, page number 58 of your IS4, this is your IS4, page number 58. So here, this is effective length of simply supported beam or column is given beam here, but because you are designing beam column, so you take the eccentric on this effective length of okay. So effective length of our simply supported beam is 120, and that is also considered for the beam column design. If it is fully restrained, both flanges fully restrained, then normal condition will take effective length 0.78, or if destabilizing you will take 0.458. Okay, so from this you will take the effective length of your column. Fully restrained compression, fully restrained both flanges fully restrained, fully restrained compressible compression flanges partially restrained. Okay, fully restrained marking not restrained in both flanges. All these conditions are there, and from this condition you can at normal condition or stabilized condition, whatever condition you are considering, from that you can choose the effective length. So this is the step number 5, where you can find out the column, page number 2, table number 3, 5, 4. Okay. Now you have to find, you know the LE, you know the LE, you have to find out the R minimum, you can directly, you can sectional properties of member, you can easily find out R minimum. Generally, RYY, minor axis is always minimum, always the R minimum about the minor axis. Okay, so if R minimum you select, and then you will find out lambda, and lambda is nothing but LE upon R minimum. Okay, and R minimum, if you don't know, you can calculate under root of I minimum or A. Okay, because in case of built-up section, you have to find out the moment of inertia by using parallel axis theorem, and you have to divide by area, you will get the R. But in case of your road steel section, it is already given in your steel table. These values you can directly take from the sectional properties given in the steel table, and you can find out the lambda, you know. Then step number 7, to find out the HF by TF value. HF is nothing but in IS code it is given, steel table is given H1. It is the HF is nothing but center distance between the top line and bottom line. So if this is your IS section, if you are considering the IS section. Okay. So this center to center distance between the plane, this is nothing but your HF. So HF is equal to H minus 2 times TF by 2. So H minus TF nothing but your HF. So you can find out HF by TF value, HF by TF value, and based on HF by TF value from table number 14, as per the HF by TF value, you can find out the critical stress is FCR. You can find out the critical stress FCRD from page number 57. Page number 57 of ASCII. So if you know HF by TF value, if you know the lambda, okay, if you know this value, you can find out by interpolation that value of FCR. So if you see the table number 14 on page number, you see here, this table will give the FCRB value. Here you can see the K by R naught, the lambda value, critical stress based on HF by DF value. This is HF by DF value. It may be from 8 to 100. Okay, HF by DF value. And based on that, if it is in between 25 and 30, 28 is there. So from the interpolation, we can find out. It may require one interpolation, it may require two interpolations. So from this we can find out the FCRB by interpolation, and step number 9, you have to find out the alpha LT imperfection factor. Imperfection factor you can find out from here alpha LT. Based on alpha LT, you will find out the perfection factor. Maybe 0.21 or it may be 0.49 based on this type of section you are using. Based on this type of section you are using. Okay, alpha LT value maybe 0.21, the alpha LT value 0.49 alpha LT value for built-up section, I think so. Okay, and this is for the old steel section. So this value is already given in steel table, and from that you can find out the alpha. Then you have to find out the design bending compressive stress FBD. Find out the design bending compressive stress FBD to lateral buckle, to corresponding to lateral. So this is given in page number 55 and 6 of ISO. You can see here based on the alpha LT value. This alpha LT value. Okay. 13.8 design bending compressive stress corresponding to lateral buckle. Okay. Forward steel section. So FCRB value, whatever it may become, this is the FCRB value at the top. Okay. Sorry, this is the yield stress Fy of the your steel, and FCRB value see in the column extreme left side, first column. You can see left side. Here the FCRB based on this FCRB value and Fy, you can find out the FBD. This FBD of the section, and if you know the FBD of the section, then the MD will be, MD will be, MD will be beta B, W, ZP, ZP, ZP is the plastic section modulus, into FBD. This is nothing but the design bending is moment, design bending strength of the section about the axis you are calculating. If uniaxial bending is there, then this MD is only one direction. Okay, it is bending is about two directions or eccentricity in two directions. Then you have to find out MDZ. Okay, so here beta B into ZPZ. Similarly, dy you have to find out beta y, w, fpy. So likewise, you have to find out the section. If biaxial bending is there, then in both directions you have to calculate the MD. Okay. So only if the one side is eccentricity or uniaxial bending is there, so this formula you check the section system. But if you have biaxial bending, if you have biaxial bending, where biaxial bending biaxial bending error. So you have to use this formula that N upon Nd. N is the actual load given, Nd is the yielding strength due to axial load. That is, we have calculated AgFy upon gamma m0 earlier, and this is My upon Mdy plus Mz upon Mdz, that should be less than or equal to 1. If this value is less than 1, you can say your design is okay or your selected section, selected section is okay. Okay, so this is what about design of uh, eccentrically loaded column. If uniaxial bending, then only this formula you do. This for uniaxial bending. मैंने आपको पहले बताया uniaxial bending is this is your column, your string in the plan, this is the axis, this is another axis, z, y. Your load is coming here, so this is Ez in one direction eccentricity, so this is uniaxial bending. If your load is somewhere, this is your axis, the load is somewhere here. So here is also eccentricity, here also eccentricity. So both sides of this sphere column is there. This is called as biaxial bending. So if biaxial bending is there, then you have to use this formula, and if uniaxial bending is there, because there is no eccentricity at both direction, then you have to go for this formula, that is N upon Md, N upon Md plus Mz upon Mdz. This is the interaction formula, and if this satisfies, then you can say that your selected section is capable of taking that much of axial load and bending. Okay, this is what our design of your axial or eccentric loaded column. Now we will take one example. And uh, after this example, we can able to design eccentrically column. So write down all the student, I will request they should open the camera, open the notebook, write down uh, type of question, write down the question, and then we will start. Check the adequacy of the ISHB 450. Check the adequacy of ISHB 450 about 87.2 kg per meter, about 2 kg per meter, to carry a factored axial compression of 750 kilonewton, 750 kilonewton at eccentricity of 270 mm, at eccentricity of 270 mm, about its major axis, about its major axis. The effective length of column is 3 meter. The effective length of column is 3 meter. Consider only section strength. Consider only section strength. So this is the column is given. So how you can find out this is column with the moment. This is beam column. How you can find out is the beam column or column with the bending moment. So this is because eccentricity is given only about the major axis. Okay. So if I will draw the section, I will draw the section. So this is if your major axis and your load is acting somewhere here and eccentricity is given 270 mm only about major axis. This is the load, your ZZ axis, major axis. So this is the case of axial load and uniaxial bending. Axial load, uniaxial bending. This is a case of uniaxial bending because only one axis there is eccentricity. Therefore, that is the case of. So you have to write down whatever given. Your load is given N, that is P acted load to 750 kN. Eccentricity EZ is given 270 mm. Bending is given 3 meter. Bending is given 3 meter. Okay. Then determine the factor for our moment. Now you know the axial load. Axial load is 750 kN. How to find out the moment? Moment for uniaxial ending. Mz is equal to Pe into Az. P is 750 into 3, 270 mm. So it is coming 202.5 into 10 to 6 power Newton mm. Or if you write this 202.5 kilonewton meter. Kilonewton. Okay. Since section is provided, section is already given. So if section is not given, your section is given. If section is not given, what you have to do? You have to assume the FCD, you have to find out the area required, or area required in this case you have to find out area required, you have to find out 2 times of n upon FCD as 0. Like this. But is already the section is given. So generally, if the section is given, then property of section you can select from the steel table. So directly you can go to the steel table. Okay. Directly you can go to the steel table. So you can go to the steel table directly, and from here you can take the properties of section. So here, which section is given? In our example, it is given IS HB 450, IS HB 450, 87.2 kg per meter. So I will go for, I will check the, uh, I will check the ISHB 450. I check the ISHB 450 steel table. Where is that? So here ISHB 450 about 87.2 kg. This one, last but one from the bottom you can see the load is this. It is the area is 111 centimeter square. So I will write down here area. You can see the area. Area is 112.14 into 10 raised to power 2. So it is 11114 mm square. Okay. Total height of section, depth of section is 450 mm, width of section 258, thickness of plan 13.7. You can see here 13.7, 9.8 is the thickness of bed. You can see here. Here you can see this thickness of bed. thickness of flange 13.7, but we have written here, and thickness of roof 9.8. Okay. Now in the section classification, the section classification B by TF ratio is 9.1 to 4, which is less than 9.4 epsilon. It means that our section flange is plastic. Then we will go for check for the web. Web is also plastic. Class 1 plastic. This is also class 1 plastic. Okay. So what happens? The section is plastic. The section is plastic. Similarly, step number 4, you have to find out the ND, that is design strength of compression due to yielding. Area provided, problem down 0. Area provided we know because already we have selected, or section is given. So from this area into Fy divided by gamma m0, it is coming to 525.9 raised to 3 Newton. Then effective length it is given already 3 meter. 3 meter means the AD is already given 3 meter. 3 meter means 3000 mm. Okay, I will write down this is LE. R minimum you can find out from the steel table. So from steel table you can see here, this is the R minimum. This is RYY. Okay. This RY. Y is given in centimeter. You see in centimeter. So the converting in mm. So this value to 5.18. If you see here, I will write down. You can see 51.8 mm. 5.18, that is centimeter. You convert in mm. Then you can find out lambda slenderness ratio LE upon RE. So LE is 3000 mm, RE is 12.8, you will get the lambda. Now from this lambda and HF by TF value we know, you have to find out by interpolation. By interpolation, you have to find out FCRB. What you will find out? FCRB. So for FCRB, use table 14 of IS 800 2007. Okay, so if I will go to IS 800 2007, it's 13A, it's 13B, it is critical stress को मालूम करना है FCRB. For H by TF value, this is HF by TF value, and here the lambda. Lambda is 57. 57 is in between 50 and 60, and HF by TF value. So here HF by TF value is coming. HF by TF value is coming. HF by TF value is coming 31.84. How it is coming? The HF is 436.3. Thickness of flange is 13.7. If you divide by this, so your value is coming 13.84. But here FCRB value in table you can see, FCRB value in table you can see it is given for 20, 30 and 35. It is not given for 31 pounds. So what you have to do, you have to write down each value. For 30 you have to write down the value. Okay, as per the lambda, where is your lambda. For 30 you have to write down, for 35 you have to write down, and for 50 value is given, for 60 value is given, but for 57.97 the lambda value is the lambda value. For this it is not given. What you have to do? You have to write down the 30 and 35 value. You take the interpolation, you find this value first. Okay. Then by interpolation you can find this value second, and by interpolating these two values you can find out the final FCR. This is the final FCRB value. So how to do interpolation? We'll solve the example tomorrow. You have to also solve with me and you can understand how to find out. And then based on alpha-LT, you will find out FBD and beta B. If section is plastic, beta B is equal to 1, or section in here is plastic. Write down this value and then NBZ from the interesting equation you can find out this is less than 1 and for choose a section. So likewise, you will find out the section still and if your section is still looking the interaction limit that is less than 1. This So this is all about today for design of a symmetrically loaded column. If you have any doubt, you can ask with me. Otherwise, we will stop here. क्वेश्चन एक और पूछ सकते हैं गुलाम मोमिन शाहिद बकीर यू आर joined very late. Try to join here. Mughal, if you have any question, that's the way. Otherwise, we will stop.